name is Nanna. Hi, my name is Hannah and I'm 5 years old. Susie was my Nana. George, so Nana is up in heaven now. Now she had so much fun with us. When we were little, she was going to Disneyland with us, and she was painting with us. So at our house at Yakima, I had a lot of fun with Nana, and I like to snuggle with Nana. I love Nana and I will miss her forever.
Hi, my name is Emma. I'm 7 years old, and Susie was my Nana. I love Nana so much. Well, one time she took me to a school to see the reptile man, and there were snakes. And there's one time when she took on my birthday, she gave me a dog, and his name is Tate, and that was really special to me. Me and Nana had plans to buy a horsey on my birthday. I think when I was 6 years old, she taught me horseback riding, and I was not only on a horse with her, but my bum was hurting, so I had to go on another horse. And there's this one time where she took me to a play, and I love Nana and I'll miss her very much.
The majority of my values, traditions, my outlook on life, sense of adventure, and the moral fabric of who I am today comes from my mother. She raised me my whole life as a single mother, and for the majority of my life it was just her and I. Looking back on it, I can see there were a lot of emotional and mental, physical obstacles I had to face. Starting with learning to feed myself, to walk, to riding a bike, to learning how to adjust to going to school full time, graduating, getting married, having kids, facing reality of life. These are things I had to learn and experience, and a lot of them were scary. But my mother was there every step of the way, right by my side, since day one. Through the good, through the hard, she was there. Every time I would get hurt, scrape my knees, bonk my head, she was always there to comfort me. She would rub gently on the sore spot, and she would say, "It's alright. It only hurt for a little while." Which always made it almost feel 100% better just hearing those words from her. My mother fought a great fight. And man, she was a fighter. Strongest person I know. Many people are blown away that she managed to live as long as she did with stage 4 cancer. Her response to, "How can you do it?" usually was something like, "It's not me. It's only by the grace of God and His strength that I can." To many this was confusing, but to me it was an eye-opener. And God used that to relight my faith. She did a lot. Even till the very end, she was active and out and about, even making several trips up to see her grandbabies. I've noticed that she would comfort them just like she did me. If they got hurt, gently rub the sore and say, "It's okay, it only hurt for a little while." It just truly amazes me how much faith she had. I even had to ask, how do you keep the faith even when things are at their worst? She told me, I consider this cancer a blessing. I've experienced so many wonderful things and met some of the most amazing people, and I know that because of what I'm going through, I can shine a little light of God on people I would never have had the chance to. So if you're thinking of throwing in your towel with God, or choose not to believe Him because maybe you're having a bad week, think of the never-breaking faith that my mother had. She's a beautiful example of perseverance. Not just that, but a great example of how to actually walk the walk. She had a heart of a servant, helping out with the homeless shelters, heart to counsel and help people through bad times. She was a friend and a mentor, a counselor, a sister, daughter, mother, and Nana. The last time I saw my mother, my real mother, before she began to really get out of it, was when she went to my Aunt Debbie's house after the hospital. And at this point, she was in and out of confusion. There was a moment she wanted to go to her apartment to go through some stuff and to get some things. So Sarah and I decide to take her. So we take her to her apartment, and at one point going through her room, she sees a red bag on the floor and she points to it. She says, those are the angels that Anita and I got for Christmas decorations. She broke down and cried and fell into my arms, and I just held her, comforting her as she cried out, this Christmas I'll be one. The next day was the day we had to go back home for my son's 3rd birthday party, and as we were heading out the door, my mom made a point to say her goodbyes to us. It threw me off, I wasn't expecting that. I guess you never are, right? She hugged Emma, my oldest daughter, gave her some loves, and with tears in her voice and her eyes, I promise you, you will see me again. Then my wife Sarah gets down on her knees in front of the chair my mother was sitting in and says, Nana, I love you. I don't know what I'm going to do without you and your wisdom to share with me about the kids. My mother looked in her eyes. Sweetheart, you have the knowledge and the wisdom. You just have to unlock it. And you unlock it by reading the Word. So much motherly love in her eyes while telling Sarah that. Then I walked up and I kissed her on the forehead and I held her face as I bent down looking her eye to eye. She had the sweetest semi-smile. That moment was hard for the both of us to get any words out of our mouth. But through the tears in my mother's eyes, I felt her say, it's okay. It only hurt for a little while. She knew that she would be with the Lord on Christmas. And she was. And she knows that the hurt will only last a little while. And it will. I can hear it now. Looking down at all of us, knowing we are mourning her loss. I can hear it. It's okay. It only hurt a little while.